What makes men want to be around feminine women? That's the question. And I think it's very powerful and very smart. This is what I'm going to tell you, ladies. Here's the secret. So if you have anybody in your life who does any type of hunting, you know that no matter what you're hunting, whatever the prey is, if you know what you're hunting likes to eat, needs to get their resources, basically if you know what they want, you can have them come to you. And this is brilliant because that's exactly how divine feminine energy works. So I know, if you tuned into this, what draws men into feminine women, you're looking to understand this whole situation. I know what it looks like. There's piss in the dating pool. You got gender wars going on, crap's going back and forth. The dating apps are trash. And you've heard there may be an easy way. What is this femininity? What is this divine masculine, feminine? I thought, is that mean man, woman? I'm going to get it all clear for you. And I promise you, stick to the end. I'm going to give you my 3 steps. 3 steps you can apply today to have masculine men eagerly competing, dying, begging for your attention, for your company, for your affection, to just be in the presence of your beauty. That's what I'm going to hook you up with. So I am Dwayne Langham, masculinity architect, teaching you the tools to be the architect of your life, building your future by design with divine energy. I'll be straight with you, ladies. Again, we're talking about femininity, feminine energy. While this is my business, this is my craft, I am a student of life, lifetime student. I got a thirst for living, and I'm just a man seeking to understand these divine energies. So that is why you're hearing this guy here talk about divine feminine. What can I tell you, right? Well, that's the good part, is that nowadays in modern times, there's a lot of misunderstanding. So that's the first thing we can jump in and get cleared up. What has men flock to feminine women? How you can be that feminine woman that has men just orbiting around her, can't get enough of her. What is that? Is it the clothes? Is it the makeup? Is it the hair? Is it that ass? We don't know. Well, that I want to break down for you to help you get what you want. So let's talk about who this is for. I want to make sure I got to give these disclaimers because the content I'm talking about, divine masculine and feminine energy, specifically to women here in this audience, I want to make sure you understand who and why I'm presenting the information. You've heard about divine energy. Maybe you've heard mention of femininity, but you're not sure what it means. It's all confusing. Am I talking about that alpha beta stuff? Am I just talking about men or women? Is it just about the gender, the biology, all of it? You may be going around, like I said, you might try improving your makeup, maybe you dress nice, but you're still hearing that you're showing up a little harsh, a little firm. Ladies, have you ever heard this, that you need to soften up a little? It stings, doesn't it? Because what are they talking about? What is all this? How do you do it? If you want to know what men are attracted to, here's one deeper. How do you keep them around once you attract them? It's the femininity. I want to really break that down because it's not about what you're doing at all. Feminine doesn't do anything. Feminine is in your way of being. It's the energy. It's not physical at all. It's just the essence of what's coming out from who you show up in being. Masculine energy. We'll start with what feminine energy is not. And again, you want to understand the masculine energy because you also need to qualify and make sure you're dealing with a masculine man. You'll know it because the polarity will automatically attract him in. And just as you've seen, remember I said, you may be dealing with hearing the feedback of, why don't you ease up a bit? You're a little firm. Can you soften it up just a little? That's the polarity in action, but instead of attracting, drawn in polarity, it's repelling, it's pushing away. So if you've ever had the experience of, maybe how you're dressing, the makeup, the hair, you figure, whatever, you got it all going, and you got guys coming around all the time, but they don't stick around. Why not? They get a little bit deeper beneath the surface, and trust me, I already know you are perfectly whole and complete. As a child of God, you have everything that you want to need, and there is a match out there for you. But it's understanding these divine energies that filter everything in life. All of your relationships, platonic, professional, romantic. You can look at the dynamics, even inside of your family, familial, and you can see the opposites of energies, why your mom and dad are attracted, why you and your siblings, brothers and sisters. Like I said, it's not about the sex, but who has energy. Inside of your friend circle, who do you get along with, not get along with? Who do you butt heads with, and why? Who do you seem to just love being around, but maybe you guys can't keep a structure? Maybe you can't keep a schedule. Maybe you can't get things done if you're working on a team at work. See, these are the type of examples that you have to think to, because it's not just black and white of men are like this, women are like that. We've all got all of it. And depending on the circumstance, you're going to oscillate. You're going to switch between code switching. There's times if you're putting in that work, got to hit a deadline, getting something done, you may need to dial down your feminine. You don't need to connect to how you feel about the work because it's work. You just need to get it done. On the other side, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So at the end of the day, if you're not having fun in your life, maybe there's something that's not in alignment with your truth, your North Star. So coming back to the energy, masculine energy, how can you identify it? Where can you see it? Masculine energy is forward progress oriented. It's all about the assertion. It's all about accomplishing, achieving. It uses direct communication. It's all about getting the job done. It operates in the physical. Now, there is a little biology in the background, but we can all tap into it. When I say operate in the physical, masculine is all about literally the structure, the frame, the buildings. So it requires the muscle. It's the bigger, broader. Here's the thing to look at: who typically, traditionally, going way back, has always gone to war? Men. They're built and conditioned for that. They don't have feelings and emotions because we need to fight for the village back home. Those who we're trying to protect, provide, protect, and cherish, what masculine energy does, these are the ones that we're thinking about, so we can't worry about our emotions. We can't worry about how we feel, our fear, how we're worried and scared to go to war, to go to battle. We just got to go and fight. We just got to go and do the thing because it's in service of those behind us. So masculine energy is when we get our big bad energy. That's going to have us go out in the physical world and make things happen. Masculine energy is very logical, pragmatic. It's all about structure. It's all about boundaries. It's all about order and integrity, honoring your word, things like that. Can you hear this? Do you know where this shows up in your life? This is why I want to put this down, so that you get the understanding. If you understand the world of your masculine, you can understand the world of masculine men, and you can really get what's going to attract them in. Because, ladies, again, I'm giving you these keys so that there's no work to do. They're going to come to you. Remember, we're hunting, and you just got to have the right bait. You have the right bait out there, they're going to be drawn to you, flocking to you. They can't resist it because you got exactly what they're looking for, exactly what they need. So now flip it. Divine feminine energy. What does that look like? So as I said, feminine energy, it's basically going to be polar opposites. So feminine energy is inside of your way of being. Feminine energy, instead of asserting force, is going to influence. If you've ever heard this phrase, heavy is the head that wears the crown, but the power is inside of the whisper to the ear, the influence that turns the neck of that crown. So feminine's way of getting things done is manipulation. Now, manipulation and influence, mind you. So I want to make sure there's nothing negative tied to that. I'm not talking about literally narcissistic behavior, anything where you're taking advantage of anyone. Simply put, because, again, feminine doesn't have anything inside of the doing, you get to relax. You get to sit back. You get to let the work be done. How does that happen? You have to have influence. You're not directly saying, hey, you need to do this. That's an order. That's direct. That's asserting. But it would be lovely if we went and had this experience. It would be lovely if we had a bigger house. It would be lovely if we had a chance to go travel over here. That feels like it would be amazing. See, that indirect whisper of influence over there to that polar opposite to the masculine wants to be noticed, wants to provide, protect, and cherish, wants to go do something, wants to be of use, be of service. So it's a dance of the yin and yang, how the energies work together, how inside of femininity you don't do anything and you cause the masculine to step forward, cause the masculine to be activated, cause him to want to. See, when you get what he wants, masculine, speaking to that, what you get, what a masculine man wants, you'll have a masculine man wanting you, wanting to be around you, wanting to have you in his life. Some other elements of femininity operates in the ether. It's energetic. Think about that. Your feelings and emotions, they're valid, they're real. Can you touch them? Can you engage with them, like physically mold. If you're upset, can you do something to, calm it down literally? The closest you can do to that is breathing, but that doesn't directly control it. But I'll tell you what it does do. It gets you into your body. Really critical there. You see, feminine energy, you have to feel, you have to intuit. So where you need that big bad energy with the masculine to build things, to go out into the physical world, you gotta have your strength inside of femininity. With that, all you're gonna need to do is get in tune with your intuition, be able to feel what's going on. When you can feel what's going on, then you can navigate through the world. Now, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I want to paint the picture, and we've got a little amount of time. So, operates in the ether, in the energy. It's not about physicality. It's not about doing anything. It's about how you're being. So you're going to need to pay attention to your feelings. Divine feminine energy is feeling centric, emotional centric. It's about connections. It's about your network. Remember, I said influence is more important than assertion, because with influence, you're connected to a network, to a village. You can bring out the goals of others. Oh, so-and-so over here wants to get a new building built. So-and-so over here is a nonprofit that needs to donate some funds. So-and-so over here has got some children that need to have a school. Connect the dots, something happens. Feminine didn't do anything, but everybody wins. Everyone who is connected to that feminine wins. And that's why feminine multiplies. That's why it's so much more powerful, because it's inside of the world of things that we cannot see. So we're not going to go too deep into it, but I want to really just give you the idea of when I'm talking about divine masculine and divine feminine energy, I'm not talking about men and women. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about the energy. And these are just some key pointers. You're going to have to dig deeper, which, again, pick up that book, absolutely free, The Dive, and it'll go into more detail about the differences. What you want to be aware of is, yes, by default, by society, and I would assert how it's designed by God. Biologically, there are some factors at play. We still both have both. Both men and women have both energies. And men are typically going to be dominant in their masculine, just out of biology coming from their hormones. Testosterone flowing through the blood of us men is going to have us have that boisterous energy. If you ever see little boys and little girls, they operate completely different. Reason being, testosterone. Biology is influencing to generate this. On the opposite, women are typically going to orient primarily in their feminine. Again, from a biological standpoint. So that's just the nature of it from when you're born. Now, as you go and live through life, going through your circumstances, like I said, you could oscillate. See, back in primitive times, villages, it was very simple, very easy, right? Men, women, men go out fight. Men go out and protect the perimeter. Men go out and hunt and bring back the food. Women are in the village, in the womb. Women and children operate in the feminine space. See, we can go and expand and build a bigger empire. We've seen empires be built up and collapse. Why? Because on the inside, if there's chaos, on the inside, if there's no peace, on the inside, if people are hungry, starving, there's not going to be much strength to that society. That tribe and village is going to fall. So it's a dance, as always, a yin and yang of both. Now, I say that because in the primitive times, it was easy. Men did this, women did that, separation. That's where the sex and gender kind of helped, because it simplified everything. Now, coming to modern times, we don't really need things in the same way. We have same-sex relationships. Men can raise children, women can go to work. Everything is modernity. It's a bit more fluid. And the raw essence of divine masculine and feminine energy, because it is no longer so simply separated amongst men and women, since we all have it, there also has to be fluidity and understanding that it no longer just thrives that men do masculine things, women do feminine things. And all of this work inside divine energies, it's largely forgotten. So that's why I need to, kind of give you a crash course, re-educate you. Make sure you go pick up a copy of The Dance. I'm going to keep saying it because it just gives you the foundation to stand on. And honestly, it's such a great question because, if you're going to be out there playing the game, you might as well hunt smart. If you can have who you want you, come to you, and not do anything, that sounds like a hell of a deal to me. What is a feminine woman, and how do you have masculine men want to be around? That's what we're talking about right now. Why are men drawn to feminine women? So we've talked about the differences of masculine and feminine. You understand the divine energies. We're talking about men and women have it. But how can a feminine woman draw masculine men into her and have them want to be around, stick around? First thing you got to do, like I said, 3 steps. I'm going to keep it simple for you. Number 1, do the work to embrace and flow in your feminine. What does that look like? Research. Content like this is where you can start. You're already on your way. Continue on. Do your research as much as you can about the feminine energy, because if this is unfamiliar to you, if you're not aware of how to use feminine energy, it's going to be foreign. I want to set you up powerfully. While these 3 steps are going to give you some things to do to get you on your path, you're really going to have to make sure that you understand and can see everything. So do a little research, and then you'll be able to start practicing tuning in to your intuition. Again, like I said, feminine energy, divine feminine energy is coming from the feels. So you're not going to be able to get in and just do some stuff. It's not following instructions. You first need to get in touch. You first need to be able to feel and actually understand. Because see, your divine feminine, your intuition, it's your source, directly to source, whatever you believe, doesn't matter. God, universe, whatever. Divine feminine and your intuition is that beacon tapped into the energy of the universe, tapped into the energy of God, tapped into something higher than what we can see on the physical plane. So with that, you're going to practice tuning into that intuition by getting into your body. What does that mean? Literally, get up, move around, stretch, dance, play, be active. Because what you'll notice, no matter what you're going through in life, the second you get into your body, there's a switch. Maybe it's just breathing, breath work, meditation. These are things that help you get into the body. And when you get into your body, you start feeling. Maybe you start feeling calm. Maybe you'll notice in life where you start feeling anxious, excited, happy, upset. This is your internal navigation. You see, why femininity? Men or women don't need to worry about being bigger, badder to survive out in the physical world, because femininity relies on energy. Femininity has intuition, intuit, in tune, taps into the energetic. I don't like how that went over there looking. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to steer safe. Oh, I'm aligning with, I'm giving out this energy. That's going to be one of the steps. I'm giving out the energy for what it is that I want. How do I bring that around? How do I attract that? Well, when you broadcast and put out the signal of that energy, when you feel it, this is why the first thing I said is you need to get into your body. You need to learn to listen and tap into your intuition. They say God is always talking to us. The universe, whatever you believe, it's always whispering, always talking. That is the power of our intuition. So when you do this practice, getting into your body, observing how you feel, you'll start to understand, oh, these are good feelings. These are bad feelings. The things that feel good, I assert and explain, are tapped into your highest source, tapped into your highest potential, tapped into your truest sense of self. So anything that feels good, go towards what feels good. Run, sprint for it. Why? Because it is what is for you. If you can live life from that, you will already be more powerful than the average person. Step 2, journal daily about your ideal relationship and what type of man you would want to partner with, and the type of relationship that you would want to build and be a part of for the rest of your life. The journaling is so important because it gives you the inner reflection. Similar to getting into the body, when you're journaling, you're being with your thoughts. It allows you to go deeper and really get in touch with how you feel about something. And why? Because that energetically, just the writing it, reading it, speaking it, it's causing the energy in you to shift. So that's why I say there's nothing to do. You can't go out and let me go adjust these knobs. No, you need to adjust the energy. You need to give off the energy. And how do you do that? You've got to be in touch with, in tune with your emotions and feelings. If you're going around all day, hard edge, taking care of tasks, doing a bunch of doing, and work, you're not really feeling much at all. So it diminishes that power. It takes away how much you can actually attract. You see, the polarity is only operating if the energy is out there. If you're all doing, wherever your energy goes, which of course, all doing, all work, that's tiring, that's draining, it doesn't feel good. You can feel accomplished at the end of the day, but it's not necessarily going to feel good while you're putting in that work, right? As you journal, I want you to be aware, as you picture and visualize for yourself the type of man you want to be with, how you want to be loved, the type of relationship that you want to have with that man. As you do these things, you're then creating the environment, the experience. Most importantly, you're giving off the energy. You're broadcasting. And that's why I say journal daily, because every time that you visit this journal, every time you think of that relationship, think of that man, think of the experiences that you want to have. And this is the important part. Think about it till you feel it. That's why you're doing it daily, because you need to repeat. Let me give you the breakdown of what you've been doing. Up until this point, if you haven't understood this energy, it doesn't mean it's not working. It's been happening all the time. Question you got to ask yourself is, what's in control? Are you scrolling through your feed online? Are the apps, entertainment, the things surrounding you, the images, the magazines, propaganda, media, is that influencing how you think about the world, how you view yourself, how you feel about yourself? Because see, that's what's giving off the energy that's been giving you what you want or don't want. So the universe, God, doesn't recognize necessarily what you want, but what do you think about? What do you feel? If you're constantly in fear, you're probably going to get situations that cause you to be fearful, cause you to be stressed, cause you to have problems, cause you to have things to struggle through. Whereas if you're at peace because God's got you, because of abundance, because of prosperity, because of happiness, joy, fulfillment, all these things, you don't have to worry about the stresses, about the anxiety. So you notice those good feelings, bad feelings. That's why I say when you get clear on your truth, which is what this journal is going to help you do, you can start giving out the feelings that bring you to that truth. And more importantly, bring those things attracted to you. So I want you to journal daily about your ideal relationship, the type of man that you want as a partner, and the type of dynamic that you would enjoy. Put out that energy that resonates so that you can bring it in. You're going to use these ideals. And again, going back to our first point, once you're tuned into your intuition, once you're paying attention to those emotions and feelings, as you go through life, now you have a filter. If I know I've got my ideal relationship, my highest truth says that this man loves me, he protects me, he provides me, it is safe with him, I can relax, he's got it taken care of, he's a leader, I can follow, I can submit, it works together. So when you give out that energy and bozos show up, fuck boys show up, you're wasting your time with little boys basically. You won't even give it the time of day. Because as soon as that doesn't feel right, he never calls when he says he's going to call. He doesn't show up on time when he says he'll be there. Does that sound like the type of man that you want to be with, that you want to follow, that you have as your ideal for the relationship that you want to have? That's your indicator. They can get right or they can get left. So you're going to navigate, pull yourself back, withdraw, continue with your life. And a masculine man, even if he's not ready, who'll be so committed because he sees what he wants. Remember, we're talking about femininity. He sees this feminine energy that's not common, that's not readily available, it's not on every corner. OnlyFans is not femininity. Instagram models is not femininity. It may be appealing. Again, hormones, testosterone, visually appealing, absolutely. But is that what he wants? There's something about femininity because it is energy. You can't quite put your finger on it. You can't necessarily describe it. You've just got to be with it, because in that way of being, there's a softness, there's a flow, there's a fluidity. And the polarity of this energy, if he's a grounded masculine man, putting in his work, leading his life already, he's already set in position to lead you because he's leading his own life. You'll absolutely know it. He'll absolutely know it, because something uncontrollably he will be drawn to. This is why I'm giving you the secret. So step number 3, let's bring it home. You've done the work to embrace your feminine flow. You journaled daily, gotten into your intuition, and you're broadcasting and putting out the energy of the man, the relationship, everything that you want. Cool. Step number 3, invite and allow men to show up in their masculine. The important part I said, remember, ladies, feminine energy has no pressure, has no responsibility. If this is going to happen, if it's going to be, it's up to he. Let him do the work. Let the pressure be over there. Don't worry about getting it right. Don't worry about if you're not good enough. Don't worry about any of those things. That's not aligned with your highest truth. If those feelings come up, let it go. This is not on you. Again, like I said, if you withdraw, if you pull back that feminine energy that is so potent, so powerful, so palpable that they just, I gotta get a taste. You feel me? Pull that back. that attracts him, leave him wanting more, leave him pursuing. And if he's not ready, he's disqualified. You've disqualified him. He's not, no, I'm not feeling that. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to cut it off, because guess what? That stimulates and causes masculine. He's got to build himself up to be qualified. He's got to build himself up to get access to feminine energy. This is how the system works. It's a dance of yin and yang. And when you learn how to play it, you're going to slay it. I mean, it's easy. It's in your favor. That's why I want to give you this. So, invite and allow men to show up in their masculine. How do you do that? Make yourself open and available to men in your environment, to be approachable. How do you do that? Really simple. Eye contact. That's the first step of connection with any human being. Somebody passes you by, somebody catches your eye, lock eyes. Nothing too overt, but just give them the opening, the opportunity. Crack a smile. Let that softness be seen. Let that beauty be seen. When he's caught up in your eyes, giving him the attention, there's an open opportunity. And he'll either step up or he won't. Because remember, you're only attracting. You're only using the bait for masculine. Masculine? Oh, give me that window. I already see you. Again, I'm visual. So you got your appeal, your presentation, it's all good, and you pass by. Oh, hey there. How you doing today? And you giving eyes? Smiling? Come on. Ladies, y'all know how to flirt with your eyes. Come on. Let's not play. So these are the things that you're going to do to make yourself open and approachable. Be aware of your body language. Be aware of the places and spaces that you put yourself. Does your presentation, your outfit, your makeup, all of it open, warm, friendly, inviting? Those are the things you need to think about whenever you walk outside. If you want masculine men to be attracted, drawn into you, and want to be around you. In order to do that, take a step deeper. I told you about the bait. You want to make sure to learn what do men value and embody that in your way of being so that it's naturally giving what they want. Now, what does that mean? I can tell you the secrets. Men value rest, peace, ease. Be the type of woman, not what you do, be the type of woman that makes his life easier, brings value to his life, can support him. When you can show up in those ways, that softness, that's what's going to attract him in. That's what's going to get his attention, because that's opposite of the harsh, masculine, task-oriented work that he is always putting in. So when he gets to unplug, come up for air, take a breather, and he catches a fresh air of that flower, that feminine flower, it's open, it's inviting, he has to stop and smell the roses because you've got his attention. You show up in a way that makes him want to rest. Show up in a way that shows him you can bring him peace. Show up in a way that lets him know you'll bring ease and softness. Now here's the last part. This is sort of tricky, depending on what you've been believing before. But like I said, you don't have any job. You don't have work to do in your feminine energy. Relax. There's no work to do because that's the space of masculine. Masculine is in the physical, does the working, is assertive, initiates, escalates, approaches. That's all in the masculine. So all you have to do is be open, warm and inviting, free-flowing. And if he didn't make his move, if he didn't shoot his shot, he's not the one. If he's not feeling your softness and he's not taking the lead to step up, to move things, he's not the one. There will be plenty, because again, you've got the bait. You know how to hook them. You know what they're looking for. You know what they want. And when you bring that to the table, it's going to attract them in. That is all you have to do. So I'm going to recap the 3 things you'll need to do. Do the work to embrace and flow in your femininity. As you master that, by researching and learning about divine feminine energy, start with that free ebook down in the Stand store. Absolutely no cost to you to get started. The dance. Then you can actually put some practice. Start tuning into your intuition. The second thing you're going to do, journaling. Keep a daily journal of your thoughts, feelings, emotions. Actually write out, what does your ideal relationship look like? If you haven't gotten that clear, ladies, begin with the end in mind. You've got to know what you're looking for. So lay that out for yourself so that you know, and lay it out so clearly, a day in the life that you can feel it. Waking up next to him, having conversations, laughing, holding hands, having experiences, going places, whatever it is. And when you feel what that feels like and you resonate with that and put it out on a daily basis, that energy is going to resonate and attract with whatever aligns with it to bring it right back to you. And you pay attention to how you feel, because when it feels good, when it feels like that journal writing feels, That's where you know it's in alignment. That's where you know you can't go wrong. So you can trust that intuition because it's coming from within. Last, invite and allow men to show up in their masculine. Make space, ladies. I know, like I said, modern times has got you pushing. Modern times has got you accomplished. Modern times, you can be just as independent. You can take care of yourself. You don't need a man, true enough. But if you want a man, if you want a masculine man who's going to show up and lead, let you relax, take care of some things, make some space so that his masculine has room to operate. That means you're going to have to submit. That means you're going to have to trust that he can get it done. Don't put yourself at risk. And it doesn't have to be your way. Give him the opportunity to show up and improve the situation. Show that he can be a leader and be responsible and accountable even if he messes up. That's how masculine learns. That's how masculine builds. So you're going to have to take your masculine out so he can put his in. Take those 3 pieces. Call me in the morning. I promise it's going to work, and you will have masculine men drawn to you with ease, not doing anything.